after 2,228 videos or something like that, I would like to clarify something. And this is something that you people weren't taught in school. It's also something I wasn't taught in school. And that is the nature of modalities of construction. As a relaxing thing, this is kind of stupid. I like watching the shows where people flip houses and they come in on this dumpy house and it's like, oh my god. Might be a section of the house that's riddled with termites, or, the toilet is clogged with, God knows what, and they have to, in order to construct the house or to build it back up, you actually have to tear something out. It's kind of like if you care about somebody, you might have to cut off their leg because it has a flesh-eating virus, and it's like, we're going to have to chop your leg off, but at least you're going to live. So, listen, yeah, you cannot make 2,200 videos on YouTube and not incur the wrath. This is just the nature of human society. Society, just like any society, we have a certain percentage of people that are in jail. We got thugs and people that, they only flap their lips. They're not interested in helping anybody, or they're only interested in helping themselves. And, that's just society. We know that. We have criminals and people that, this is an invariable timeless factor, that there are those that do and those that talk about those that do. And you can be both critical and constructive at the same time. Now, out of 2,200 videos, less than 1% of those 2,200 videos are critical of idiotic things said by other people. Look, we all make mistakes. When someone says something extremely stupid, which is totally untrue, like larger sensors gather more light, well, exposure has nothing to do with the size of a sensor. When someone extremely ignorantly says, who hasn't been into photography that very long, that light meters are a throwback technology, and that I, not meaning me, get quote-unquote angry when I see somebody, no, I think the word was upset or angry, when I see somebody using a light. Those type of statements are idiotic. And it's just no different than these home repair shows that I watch, where they come into a house, it's like, they're trying to flip the house and make some money, but before we can be constructive, we might have to remove, that 1950s bathtub that's made out of pink porcelain. It's like, we got to rip that crap out. So, what and this is generally true of you people, but by the way, this harkens back to Clint Eastwood, who recently gave an interview to GQ magazine, and he's been harshly criticized. Clint Eastwood said that currently this is like Generation Puss. And Clint Eastwood's right. This is Generation Puss. The millennials, I thought my generation was bad enough, and they were bad enough. Called Generation X. We're kind of accused of being lazy. And, I'll admit to being lazy. I do a lot of studying. I mean, most of my house is a frigging library. I mean, I've got thousands of books, floor to ceiling, in a few rooms. There's different varieties of lazy. You do have to sometimes, when you walk into a house, tear something down. But you're tearing it down to replace it with something better, to improve it. So it is absolutely invalid to say that of 2,200 some videos, that 1%, let's even say if it was 2%, which is not 2%, of videos or criticism, that that is not being constructive. If a lot of people out there have been brainwashed by somebody with a slick background and fancy video editing skills, or either that or someone is outsourcing the video editing skills, that sort of rotten termite wood, or like the 1960s pink bathtub, is like, we can't flip this house with this crap in here. We're going to have to build it up, we first have to tear that part out. Kind of like removing a tumor from someone's gut, or their brain. So being constructive at the same time criticizing and being there's valid criticism, there is valid deconstruction. It's like, we gotta rip it out. We are not what we believe, okay? Attacking what someone says or believes is not attacking the person. And Valid criticism is valid criticism. If people are running around saying that bigger sensors gather more light, which is total absolute BS. By the way, there's no light meter that lets you enter in a value for the sensor size. Exposure is exposure and has nothing to do with sun. All right, and a light meter is the most indispensable tool that has characteristics that no camera. Light meter is an additional tool that actually help you speed up speed, light, and strobe work. So when someone says that's throwback technology, all they're doing is just dropping their pants down and sticking their butt out the window and just proving to you what a fool they are, because that statement is foolish. It is ignorant. It is just flat out empirically wrong and stupid. People in the studio do use light meters, and there is a really, really long list, and I've named them before, hardcore criteria. And listen, there are these type of people in the world. My videos are meant to be helpful. If I toss in some criticizing videos from now and then, I'm never going to apologize for it. Well, you're just criticizing so-and-so. Well, you're damn right. You're damn right. If just because something is my motto, and this is a motto I created ages ago, nothing popular is true and nothing true is popular. And by God, I've lived by that rule, and I've always been proven right on that rule that I created. Nothing true is popular and nothing popular is true. If people are, espousing this nonsense about photography, I'm never going to apologize for criticizing that nonsense. I don't believe either that, and nor have I seen in photography school when the hardcore world-class professionals would come by, for example, that I don't think this is a proper photographic technique where I stick one hand in my pocket and I turn on the LCD on the camera and I kind of lean back and take a picture. I'm sorry, but that is not a professional photography technique that I would ever agree with, nor have I ever seen a real professional true photographer do. Am I critical of something like that, for example? I sure am. And listen, there are these type of people in the world, just like the TV shows where I watch where people flip houses. Why I watch those, I have no idea, But they actually do deconstruct something in the house before they build it up. That is still ultimately constructive. There are other people, and this is just a sampling of society. They are like arsonists. Okay, we have arsonists in the world, and we're talking about various type of arsonists. Personal arsonists, real arsonists. They want to burn every damn thing. They got a book of matches, and they want to burn it to the ground, and they don't give a flying fuck about anything. They're arsonists, and that's okay. That's a sample of the slice of the pie of society. Social media is worse at this than the rest of the world, but it's basically the same sample variation, and it's no big deal. I'll never apologize for criticizing BS, nonsense, and just absolute flat-out crap. That's just not true. It's invalid, it's stupid, it's dumb, and we are not what we believe. If I believe that, unicorns and leprechauns are the principles behind, field theory, and someone correct, if someone changes their mind overnight and they're, suddenly they're able to see the light, and I don't give a, I don't care who sees the light. I mean, people can believe whatever the hell they want. I don't care. Life is short. You should watch what you want to watch, but we are not our beliefs. If you change your mind overnight about something, you're the exact same person. So the persona is what this is what the Greeks differentiated too, that we don't. That a persona, i.e. the persona non grata, Bob, Sue, Bill, Larry, whatever, that person is made up of a bundle of beliefs, but that is not the person with a capital P, or the Purusha, or the Atman, or the Spiritus Sanctum, i.e. the actual true personhood. The true person is never a series of beliefs, because beliefs change from day to day, year to year. Attacking idiotic, stupid, ignorant, dumb, just flat-out insane beliefs is not a personal attack. It said this is just flat-out wrong, and here's the reasons why it's wrong. A, B, C, this is why it's wrong. Some things have a gray area. It's like, well, there's more than one way to skin a cat, as the old saying goes, which means you could do it this way or that way, whatever floats your boat. There are some things there's just no argument about. It's just like, this is the way it is, and there's no argument about it, because that's just the way it is. The sun rises in the east. You going to debate with me that the sun rises in the east? No, you're not, because there's no debating it. There's no one way or the other, or this way and that way. So, just realize that. Criticism, if the intent behind it. You see, this is also true of something the ancient Greeks and Indians understood that you people don't understand because you weren't taught this in school, is that there's no such thing as an evil action. Some actions are absolutely totally unjustifiable, like, horrific things, but there is no such thing as an evil action. The body is the tool of the mind. One example being, and this is just one example. Killing is bad, but there's a huge difference between killing and murder. Now, when I lived in San Francisco, some of the people out there are so brainwashed and mentally inept that they actually think that they're both one and the same. This is just an example, okay? They are so mentally brainwashed and intellectually inept that they literally, and when asked this question by me, because I find it interesting as far as the demented, rotted psychology of certain slices of humanity, they literally believe that there's no difference between, like, a woman who were to kill a psychotic lunatic rapist and murderer, or a child molester that, like, broke into her house, as opposed to, somebody like Charles Manson or Ted Bundy. They literally think that is one and the same thing. And that sort of thinking and mentality and psychology of modernity is like a sick, disgusting, vile cancer. You can't say that a woman who loves her children and her life, who defends herself and her children, her cute little children, from like some sort of psychotic, deranged, rapist or, murderer who breaks into the house. You can't, if you're going to compare somebody like that to Ted Bundy because the physical act is the same, then you're somewhere at your very deep psychological core, you're mentally so damaged that you have no ability to differentiate out logic from illogic. I mean, you're so divorced intellectually from comprehending simple things that it's even, it's laughable to even have a discussion with people like that. But this is just a de-evolution of society. The Indians say that this is the Kali Yuga, which basically means the age of evil and ignorance. And I forget who said it, and I think it was Orwell, who said that the greatest sin in a corrupt age will be to say the truth. And anyway, my videos are meant to be constructive, and if 1 or 2% of them are critical of stupid or ignorant or dumb things, I'm never going to apologize for that. I'm no shill for anybody. I'm no corporate puppet. I'm not looking for sponsorship from anybody. I don't count subscribers. I try to be helpful. We all have our own little crazy character flaws, right? Yeah, obviously so. But, my intent is to be constructive. And I'm sure to God not doing this for the money, because I'm killing myself answering emails and comments, and, it's just, obviously I don't edit my videos, but I mean, I'm putting in, I'm getting a lot of emails and comments. So, please, make the comprehensional understanding that sometimes to be critical and remove something is no different than a home flipper who removes a termite-infested hunk of wood, or someone that removes a tumor from a body. If you attack something stupid said or believed that someone else out there, some famous talking head on YouTube and photography says, I'm not going to apologize for that. If it's flat out wrong and stupid, then it is. And, I'm not a person that was ever going to care if somebody likes or dislikes that. Ultimately, I'm only interested in being constructive. I've made 2,200 videos about being constructive, not destructive. But like I said, there are certain people out there that are arsonists intellectually. They're arsonists. They just want to burn it all down. They got a book of matches and they want to burn it. But they do nothing to offer anything to anybody. They produce no content. They make no helpful videos. They do nothing to help anybody. And that speaks for itself. If someone is out there with a book of matches and they're just a pathetic arsonist and they provide no useful content, then they're no different than a cockroach in your kitchen. They're nothing but a nuisance. They're a wart and a boil on the ass of humanity. But that's okay, because that's just the nature of humanity. And you have to admit that. Whether you like that statement or not doesn't really matter, because it's true. Lux e veritas.